Hello and welcome. Ready again to return to our adventures. I've had a little bit of hiatus over the last month or so, but it's time to kind of jump right back into things. We kind of, just a little bit of a recap. We kind of all are on the same page. Just a day ago, we just had kind of a run-in with the cultists in our caravan. One of them was murdered in the night, and kind of a blame game had started, pointing fingers, particularly at the party members. And as a part of the heated discussion, it kind of came out that they've known a little bit more about you than they've let on, and it also came out in reverse that you know more about them that you had let on. So, kind of aired all the dirty laundry right out in front of all the caravan members over some of the last happenings over the last couple of months. Given how they've treated the rest of the caravan members versus the way that you have both been helpful, nice, and a welcomed addition to the caravan as opposed to the cultists. The caravanners themselves, didn't necessarily proclaim innocence, but at least sided with the fact that without any information, it'd have to be at the whim of the gods for punishment of whoever did the deed. And you carried forth. Traveled nearly an entire day and set up camp through the night. Still yet a couple of hours shy of Waterdeep, but just on the edge of the horizon. You can see the edge of the ocean, and then the town, the castle sticking up itself high into the sky from your current vantage point. We wake up with our last bit of travel with a torrential rain that started late in the night. And that brings us to get ready.
Before I come out of my tent, can I cast Detect Magic as a ritual?
Oh, sure can.
So then that doesn't use a spell slot.
Correct. It just takes 10 extra minutes to cast it as you prepare your ritual. A ritual doesn't have to be all tribal and singing and dancing or whatever. It can be meditation and setting things out in a certain way, or it can, as long as it is time consuming on however you would do it.
Yeah, that's what I do. I've got the whole tent to myself now because Fane went on ahead and never came back, so I'll cast my ritual just in the tent and then head out. And this lasts for 10 minutes, so if possible, I'd like to take a look at breakfast. To make sure there's nothing funny going on there again.
As you kind of start scanning around, you see hints of a couple of things of magical properties, but it's still kind of rare. The occasional, a couple of the caravanners have like an amulet or a ring that has faint magical properties. Nothing seems to be potent. Nothing giving off a very strong aura. Definitely looking at your breakfast. There's nothing magical about the breakfast.
Okay. And also, if I can, I'd like to take a glance at the wagons in the front, those guys that we saved from the hobgoblins that were a little bit shady about what they were carrying.
Okay. Gonna look through, kind of give a once over of their goods, their wagon, and the people themselves.
Yeah, mostly the goods. I just want to see if anything's pinging my attention.
It does seem that every single one of them has some small object of magical prowess on them. Of both the guards and the three merchants themselves, but it's only you can only see like one object on each of them. Each of the guards has a ring, and each of the merchants has an amulet.
Does it say? It should say what school of magic as
Correct.
well.
Yeah, the rings are abjuration, and the necklaces are transmutation.
Oh. Interesting. Okay. I go back and eat my breakfast. That spell doesn't last too long, so.
Okay. The atmosphere of the caravan all of yesterday was just mostly somber and silent. No one was chit chatting after those events had kind of blown up. Now today with the rain, it's gone from just kind of silent and uh, just ambivalent to now being just sour. Um, the for everything from hitching up horses to putting away tents, and someone will so they'll slip or whatever, and then they'll just curse and just be uh, dramatic about their reaction to that.
Just rewind you a small bit. When I wake up and as I'm stretching, I cast Mage Armor.
Okay.
That's my wild magic roll. That's 8 hours, so.
Yep. Yep. That didn't apply the effect to you, so it did click it, so you'll have to might have to drag the effect onto the combat tracker onto yourself, or
Okay. Just add 3. Tell me when to change it.
well, so if it should actually just be able to do that automatically, but but yeah, you can take care of it that way as well. That's fine.
I'm gonna try and play a duet with myself with my new mage hand.
I hope that's not a euphemism.
Okay. What instrumentation is your mage hand trying to replicate in your duet?
It's really just trying to see if I can get if I can start playing extra strings with before I only had 5 digits that I really played with, and now I have an extra set of digits. So I want to see what I can do. This is really just going experimenting and not really playing a song at the moment.
Okay. You find it especially cumbersome trying to get the mage hand to do anything particular with trying to keep any kind of rhythm, or whether it's just tapping or trying to, actually strum individual strings or anything that you try to get it to do. It can perform the task, but it's definitely not what you're used to in commanding a hand to do something.
Yeah.
Perhaps with practice.
Oh, there will be practice.
It's mostly like phantom limb, trying to command something that's new. So you're like a newborn child with this, trying to control this new hand, and you're like, like even when you make it open up, you're like, the hand opened, and then you close it, ooh, and then a little bit of experimentation goes by, and you have rudimentary control, but definitely not fine-tuned musical level control of the hand. Alright, are we ready to set out?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think so.
TX's mage hand just gotta comb his hair, and then he's good to go.
You try to comb the hair with the hand, running the fingers through. And the first time you kind of just ram it in your forehead a little bit. Oh, dang it. And then,
This is my new thing for the day.
And so now you just got to teach it to either jostle your hair back or toss your hair like it's in the wind, but even when it's
Yeah.
not in wind.
Yeah, exactly.
Like sitting there flicking your hair back like it's in the wind. Be great.
Yeah.
I am wearing my little cloak from, was it El Terrell? A little less haggardly than I have been.
Mm-hmm. Alright, so we get underway. We continue our journey north. Once everybody kind of gets strapped in and seated, it kind of goes back to just somber again. A lot less cursing and the like. People just sitting there with their heads kind of hanging as make the last couple of hour trek up to the city. As you start approaching the city, there's a small little river that you had to go. It's actually a pretty big river that you'd come over at the end of yesterday, late in the afternoon, and then it's been mostly sloped downhill ever since after that. So as you come to this huge bridge last night, camped on the other side of it, woke up, and now you're heading kind of straight down towards the coast, down a pretty steep 20 degrees or so, which is pretty steep for a long road, major traffic road, all the way down. You can see that there are caravans and other things coming this way, and there are extra teams. There's these stations along the way that have different teams that help occasionally to get people extended through this extended long climb. It's a couple of hours wagon travel of climb, where they actually just have to come out and help pull with additional horses, and that's kind of what they do. And for a service, they'll help pay to get you out of the little, pretty steep valley down into Waterdeep. As you start getting closer, you can see that this huge city is a large walled city.
Oh, new picture.
This map is huge.
That is enormous.
Oh, shit.
It is also oriented sideways for some reason. Left and right is actually north and south, so left is north.
So we came from the top right then.
Yeah, so we'll be coming down into the valley from the top right. You might have to
The
scroll all the way
south
to
gate?
the... Yeah, towards the south gate. There's a huge... right at the top up here, there's this huge gate at the top of where this like cliff area is, where you start then traveling down into the city, down into the valley. Up at the top of that incline, there's this huge gate that you pass through. And then along the way, that's where those stations are that help people pull the carts up and out. And then now you've steep decline down into the actual city itself. And everyone's super slow going on this, because they don't want to, especially with these big heavy wagons, to build up too much momentum on a good road. There's a garrison. That huge gate is garrisoned at the top, and there's a lot of guards that eyeball everyone as they come in. As you decline down towards the southern gate, you can see that at the actual, what is noted as the south gate, there are guards that as people are coming in with goods, that the guards are essentially like border patrol, pulling them over, looking through things, and then letting them pass into town.
I'm gonna make sure all my magic-y stuff is dismissed before I get to them.
As we all kind of, as we're getting up right to being our turn for our caravan, as its turn, checking things in at the gate, roll some perceptions. At this point, it's starting to get, as this last little decline, other than just the people passing back and forth on the just on the roadway just itself, there's not a lot of stuff on either side. There's not a lot of people. But now as you're getting towards the gate, it's starting to hear that buzz of dense city that is definitely just a roar, a dull roar at all times from people talking and some people yelling, some people
I druid craft a flower and kind of tuck it somewhere around my scarf, I guess.
Over the dull roar of most of the cities you approach, it's really hard to pick out anything fine-tuned, and you just kind of hear the dull roar. Morn, however, I sent you a whisper with something that you kind of hear above the rest. Wolfen.
Yes, I know I'm reading. I'm trying to remember a distinct and belly voice, and all I can think of the paladin from the beginning of our adventure. I can't remember his name.
Antar?
Antar.
Go ahead and roll a wisdom check.
That was a save.
Oh shit.
As I say, shouldn't be as high for your wisdom check. Yeah, maybe. It's hard to tell over the crowd. Also doesn't make a lot of sense, given we've been on the road for 5-10 days, approximately. Now you would hear this voice that's cracking that level of familiarity is definitely on the other side of the gate, kind of around the side. Sounds like it's talking to some other group of the guardsmen over by the little garrison entrance. You see several guards kind of coming in and out over there in that area. As you come in, as the guards start kind of doing the once over of all of the caravan, one of them is going to kind of come up to each of the different wagons along the way, and each one's going to kind of come up to give their own little intro of, welcome to Waterdeep. Where are you from? What are you carrying? And what's your business?
I guess I kind of look around at the other merchants and stuff and see. I'm not sure if I'm used to this sort of thing. I'm assuming that's more of a big city thing, so I'm just gonna kind of try and take my cue from other people.
Yeah, and so right next to you, Lyle's gonna pipe in. Just carrying goods for market. We're from all the way south is Baldur's Gate. Just here to sell, resupply, and head back. You can see the guardsmen kind of start to jot things down. And what is it you'd be selling? So, I don't remember y'all ever asking that before. What's this all about? Been up this way many times, no one's ever inquired to that level. Well, been a lot of bad, foul X things coming and going, trying to put a snap on the black market. So what are you bringing?
Li's got some of the best oils and perfumes that this city will have ever seen.
Like, he kind of sinks his head down and closes his eyes, a little bashful kind of look. Well, I don't know if they're the best, but surely they'll sell. Pretty good stock, I'd say. He's gonna ask if, and then he's gonna say, well, mind if I have a look around? Nah, right ahead, just don't break anything. And he goes back, kind of looks in the hauler wagon, look around just a second, then goes to the wagon behind and lifts up kind of a piece of tarp, kind of looking under, moving a box around a little bit. Yep, seems good enough. Carry on through. Likewise, so same kind of thing's gonna happen at our Moon Elf's wagon as well. As soon as he asks her, she's gonna kind of turn to UTX and say, "Well, you're the mouth. Tell the man."
We're from Baldur's Gate, and our business is to sell ornate and fancy wood carvings.
Wood carvings. No kind of wood carvings that explode or anything crazy like that, are they?
I do not know of any wood that explodes by itself.
Me either, till here recently. Seen some of the strangest stuff in the last few months.
Can I hear them, or are we already through?
You're actually behind them. What kind of insight are we trying to glean here?
I was gonna say, like, I was trying to figure out, like, if he was telling the truth, or if he was just trying to figure out a way to weasel into more information, like invade our privacy.
It seems like he's actually being truthful. They've got new, stricter guidelines and checking and the like because of some kind of recent activities that has caused a public stir.
Damn TSA, slowing down everything.
Mm-hmm. They already have a wall. What else can you? What else can you hope for?
Well, if I was to make exploding wood, and I'm not saying I would, because I wouldn't, because that'd be, dangerous. It would be all hollowed out and filled with explosives. And as far as I can tell, these things are solid, just finely carved.
Now you're on the no-fly list. Good job.
Mind if I have a look?
It's her goods, so I'm here guarding her.
And you see just this deep sigh. Very well. He goes back, lifts up, starts looking around, picks up, there's lots of blank lumber, and then, like, for making furniture and stuff, and then there's the wood carvings and different things. And, it cracks open one little crate, looks in, pulls out something, and then out of his pocket he pulls out this large piece of glass, that looks like an ornate mirror frame.
one fancy guard.
And then he's looking through the glass, and you can kind of see him move. It looks, just from kind of your perspective off to the side, it looks just like a piece of see-through glass in a fancy mirror frame. And he's like pushing it forward and backwards, trying like he's looking through, almost like you would see someone look through some bifocals or something, and they push them far away from themselves, and then it's a little bit closer and further back. Nope, all seems good here. Alright, folks, move on in. And as each kind of one comes in turn, this overall just kind of keeps each one of these wagons in turn keeps kind of going through the check, and it gets to the cultists, and then they flatly refuse to let them look at their goods, and then so they call over a couple of other guards who then, you know, they kind of get us. They're trying to keep it quiet, but there's a little bit of a heated discussion going on. And then you see one of the cultists flash something from under their, underneath their clothes, and then pull it up and out and show it, and then tuck it back in. And I go, yep, all seems well here. Let's go ahead and let these folks through. You two go ahead and escort them off around the side. Take them the way of the dragon. They've got business up north. All the other folks, just follow the high road up here a little bit, up past the fort. The check-in stations, places to register for market, they're just up on the right. You kind of hear them all kind of proclaim this loud enough that the whole caravan can hear it.
Can I insight check him if he's saying that loud enough for everybody to hear?
Mm-hmm. He's giving, the kind of command, but you can tell the first little bit of what he was saying was a little bit shaken about, how they were, everything was okay, and then escort them this other direction. He just kind of faltered in his speech a little bit of crackling, and then he's like, and then you guys go this way, and that just seemed kind of legitimate. It seemed like he gathered his composure.
Is there another guard nearby? Like near me?
Yeah, there's a handful. There's still the one for each. There's a whole group of them. They kind of each one went to kind of a wagon, and then this one seemed to be. They went inside and got him to go after the cultists refused to let them look at their goods, and then he's the one. So looks to be some kind of level of authority over the other guards. That who was standing off to the side is the one that gave the final directions.
Can I just ask a guard near me? I've never been to Waterdeep before. What's the difference between a caravan or a wagon being told to take the high road versus the way of the dragon?
I was like, well, just kind of scratch his head a little bit from the back. Most everybody just comes in on the high road and then they check in to register goods. Usually people that have goods, they just come this way if they're going to sell them. The Way of the Dragon, that's just the other big road that kind of runs, just a little bit west of here. It just kind of loops on around. It's as big a road as this one, I guess, but I don't know. We usually don't send people that way.
So this is unusual?
Yeah.
Would he have found something weird in their wagon? They were talking about exploding things.
Oh no! If he gave them the good, the ones over there, and said they're clean, then they've got to be clean. Might be some high price something some Lord of Waterdeep wants some stuck up something or other. They're probably heading off that way. I don't know. It's not usual, that's for sure.
I try my best to look a little bit relieved. I'm like, oh, okay, that's good.
I rolled a perception check to see what was maybe flashed, if I could catch a glimpse of the shape of the object or what it was.
So you're around Ulielton's wagon.
Oh yeah, that's probably the first one in, huh?
Well, the ones who picked up, the new ones are the first ones. And
Yeah, Ulielton was closest to the cultists, I think.
yeah,
right?
he was closest to the cult because it was the ones that we saved on the road, and then it was TX's Moon Elves one, and then it was Lies, and then Bades, and then Ulielton. Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Yeah, so you would actually be you'd be in a position close enough. As the caravan starts to kind of roll into the city a little bit, everyone else go ahead and roll another set of perceptions.
Can I just use perception rolls for everything today?
Yep, pretty much. This time everyone kind of hears that voice. As you start rolling forward past the barracks, you can hear, well, hasn't anybody seen him?
Is it a voice that I recognize?
Very much so. It does sound just like Onthar's voice. They were supposed to be through here days ago!
Can I tell where it's coming from?
In the guards, the little guards barracks that little commander came out of. Just on the inside of the gate. You can hear some kind of muffled sounds of whoever he's talking to, but he's yelling in his big, deep voice, and it just carries over everything. And now that you've passed the wall, it doesn't kind of block any of that anymore. And then you can just hear him up above everybody else very easily.
Now, are we all standing together once we got through the gate and just because our job is done or whatever? Or what? Or are we all traveling down the high road?
Yeah, you were supposed to go up the high road a little bit to the right to the open lots where you check in and register for the market.
Okie dokie.
Can I see him at all, or just hear him?
You can just hear him. He's in. It's coming throughout the doorway somewhere inside.
I whistle like a bird, but otherwise I keep walking. Pretend like nothing else has happened.
I don't want to get yelled at yet. I'm gonna keep going.
And you hear one more, like as you kind of trickle on by. I pay good money. Not to mention, what bad could come to someone that crosses a paladin of Torm? You're supposed to send out patrols. You're supposed to find them.
Kiax is gonna ask if he can go stand on Pole's shoulder, get a better view of things.
Yep, and he's just gonna very gingerly grab the back of your coat and just pick you up, sit it in, and just set you on the shoulder.
I'm gonna put my hand down on his head and use it for balance.
Mm-hmm. And you kind of survey around. I mean, there's a huge amount of hustle and bustle at this point.
Can I locate the Paladin of Torm yelling dude?
You can't see him from outside the building.
Okay.
Yeah, all you can just hear his voice coming through a door that's, most of the way closed, but got, about a foot of gap or so before it's closed. And you can just hear it clear as though he was standing right next to you, talking to you, but he's way off in the building.
I'm gonna make my way towards that building. I'm gonna jump off at Torm, or Pole rather, and make my way over there as stealthily as I can.
Right.
We're still near the cultist wagon too, right? Like we haven't branched off yet?
Correct. Yeah, I mean, Pole's sitting there looking at you. You're slinking your way over, and you're being very nondescript, so no one seems to be paying you any mind anywhere around as you kind of sneak up to the edge of the doorway there. No one but Pole really seems to be paying any attention to you.
I guess I'm on Lyle's cart, so I just look up to Rowan and say, "Onthar?"
I just put a finger to my lips and then drop it real quick.
I'd like to do a message cantrip.
Oh, okay.
I can cast this spell through solid objects if I am familiar. So 1 foot of stone. How thick is the walls here?
It's a pretty considerable stone. It's part of a garrison just on the inside of the major gate to the city, so it's definitely at least a foot and a half thick, just stone and mortar.
What about the door?
The door is made out of thick oaken planks, look to be double thick planks, so maybe 4 inches thick.
Okay, I can get through wood a lot easier than I can get through stone.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I would like to send a message to Onthar, and only Onthar, that his heroic party has arrived at Waterdeep with the cultists in tow.
You just hear it, like, you kind of just hear him just kind of yelling for a little bit, and then it just pauses. Horn be damned, but you are incompetent. I'll find him myself. And then, you just hear a couple of loud thudding steps later, as he's definitely approaching the door.
I'm gonna cast my mage hand and get out of the way of the door. And as soon as I assume he's coming out the door, I'm gonna tap him on the shoulder with my mage hand.
Let's see what happens. As soon as this very hulking man, you just see the door fling open. You see him kind of two strides out as you're kind of hidden right up against the edge of the wall off to the side. The mage hand taps him on the shoulders, and with a speed that you were really not expecting from such a large man, he just turns and then takes his hand and pushes the mage hand, BAM! Right up against the wall, which I believe causes it to dissipate.
I thought it had hit points, but I don't see any mention of hit points here. Doesn't mention anything about dissipating it though.
Oh yeah, no, it doesn't anymore.
And my mage hand is invisible too, so it's not like the spectralness that a regular mage hand is. So if he managed to hit the mage hand, that's pretty friggin' crazy.
Well, let's see. Oh yeah, he nails it square. You see him pulled back, his big gauntleted fist. And he looks at the knuckles, and he looks at the wall, and he looks down and around. And he shrugs, and just starts looking out, starting to scan the crowd.
I'm gonna send him another message saying, down here.
Are you going to try to cast stealthily?
Yeah.
Alright, sleight of hand and stealth. You see him look down, and he looks right at you. You.
I could give him a sheepish grin and a little wave. And say, we should talk.
You see him kind of drawing a big breath, look around. Yeah. Let's just say I'm glad to see you in one piece. What about the rest of you? Where?
Do I see them outside? At the
Oh,
moment?
yeah, when he walks out.
I jump off the cart and go that way.
Are we not still walking?
Or I walk that way. I don't know. It was never really established what I was doing.
Walk that way.
Yeah, come walk this way.
I'm staying with the wagon.
You staying with the wagon?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can't leave my wagon because I'm sure my piece of shit boss won't pay me. I have to guard him to keep him safe. I have to guard him to make sure he pays me.
Well, is everybody else okay? He kind of looks around. Like as he's gazing the crowd, you feel like Rowan that he gives a little bit, like just a half a heartbeat of pause as he kind of looks at you as he just continues to look around the crowd as though he didn't see you. Let me guess. An elven twin has your tongue?
Have I made it to the
Sorry.
end?
Just spaced it. What was the question again?
Is
Where's
everybody
everybody
else?
else? Oh, they're part of their character. They're, playing their parts. I managed to, I got the pick of the litter for the carts. I had a nice elven maiden, and everyone else got stuck with some interesting characters along the way. As for those twins, though, I'd like to have a word with you about that if I was bigger than you.
Yeah. You have a little business to take care of, so settle up with that. Stuffy Pants and I are over at Virgin Square. I'm sure he picked it.
Stuffy Pants at Virgin Square.
Have I
How
made it to them
fitting.
yet?
Yeah.
I tell him our friends are at the gate. That's still some. Well, I guess they just passed through the gate, but
At this point, they're starting to split off and move a little bit south, but they're they're still like just right over there. But they have started to split from your caravan and start heading off down the other road.
tell them they're heading down the way of the dragon. Ironic, right?
I don't pay them any mind. Just kind of give you a wink. Remember, where there are eyes, people see.
Indeed.
Anyway, we're over at the inn where the high road meets the way of the dragon. Right there at the corner of Virgin Square. Prominent, right out where everyone can see us.
Oh wow, there's a slut street. Fantastic. I don't say
Oh,
that to
I was
him,
just... Get a big wink from Anthar. Starts walking away.
I'm gonna make my way back to the my elf and await my payment.
yeah, go back to the walking behind Lyle's cart.
Okay. Yeah, so you guys continue on. You see Anthar kind of just take off walking with conviction pretty quickly down the high road as he's kind of... He doesn't disappear into the crowd, as he's not as big as the pole, but he's very tall, very broad man. And with the shiny plate mail with the Hand of Torm gauntlet emblazoned on the front of it, people just kind of move up out of his way as he walks. And so you kind of keep sight of him as he makes a headway. The wagons start to move forward, and then they get to a point about 5 or 6 buildings down from the gate where there's a kind of a turn in of a big side street that opens to this huge open lot where the wagons are pulling in and kind of filing in, and there's different porters and different merchants there that are registering goods and things of the like. And as you all get there, each in turn is going to... I said, alright, I guess it's time to settle up our bill. And Liza's going to come up to you, Rowan. Said, Porterfane.
I'm not sure where she's got off to.
I don't know.
I'm sure she'll turn up later.
I don't know much about what happened the other day. I don't care. You two still did your job, and you did it well. And for that, he's going to hand you a pouch. And said, I went ahead and made it 10 a 10 day. That's 50 gold apiece. I put hers in there with yours. I'm sure she'll find you before she finds me.
It's one pouch.
It's just one pouch, yeah. It's got 100 gold pieces in it.
I kind of weigh it in my hand a little bit, and then I'll empty half of it into my own coin purse.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's a lily. Speak of the devil. I empty half of it into my own coin purse, and then I take the rest of it, and I take his hand and I press it back into his palm, and I tell him, I'll make sure that her money gets to her, but a druid wants for little in this world beyond a purpose and good company, and I never wanted your money. I would just ask your forgiveness instead.
You see him just kind of take a deep breath. He just reaches out and hugs you.
I hug him back.
And then he just kind of steps back, and there's a whole, like, his head's just hanging down, and you see his cheeks are just rose-colored, red. You see him sniff just a little. Oh dear. I appreciate it.
You stay safe, Fly.
Oh, there's good in this world. Safe BDE.
I just hug him again real quick, and then I leave.
And as you kind of snake a small look as you're walking away, he's just sitting there. He's almost like writhing, like he's hugging himself a little, just with his head down, and just reveling in the moment.
Well, I'm going to take away from his moment. I just kind of smile at him and nod as I walk by him. I follow Rowan.
Just a few seconds later, you hear a loud "Woo!" And then Miss Lewell is going to come up to TX and the pole. You are one brutish man.
Thank you. Oh, right.
Your heart's as big as his bicep. even if you may or may have not done all the harm, all the good, you are exactly what I wanted for this dreadful trip. Each of you here, and she's going to hand you each a pouch that has 60 gold pieces in it. A little more than was offered, but well worth it nonetheless. Now go. I have much money to be made, and I really, really love making money.
It was a pleasure. And I'm gonna give more of a salute to Paul than to her.
This is kind of give you a big wink. You need work? Just come to me. I'll see you get work. He turns and walks away. And then old Yelton was going about his cart. Morn's just kind of sitting over there, standing beside him, and he's just cursing and yelling. And two ladies come over to him. And when are we getting paid? Paid? Hell, you're barely worth the food that I fed you.
Oh, I want to watch this so much.
And then you just see both of them just kind of tense up a little bit. You miserable merchant asshole! Give us our money or we'll make you pay in other ways.
I approach and I'm like, I need to get paid too. You're still alive. I did my job 100%.
100% is a bit of a stretch. Very
alive.
satisfactory. You wouldn't even take that silly wild woman away when she was accosting me. Taking that out of your cut.
It looks like you were having fun with her too.
I gave you an order. You didn't carry it out. That's not 100%.
Okay, 95.
You see him go through and count. Here's 25 gold pieces, and you won't get a penny more. Now get out of here.
Alright, enjoy your time with these lovely ladies. And I just walk away. I am through.
25 gold pieces? You're supposed to get more like 40. You said 8 a 10 day. That's what we're getting paid. I think not.
And as I'm walking away, I'm like, remember, I'm not paid to protect you anymore. And I just keep walking.
Yep, you're taking a cut for not following orders. And you see the ladies just riled up. Like, either you give us our 40 or we take everything you've got. You wouldn't dare attack me in a city like this. There's guards right everywhere. Just kind of looking around. The guards are looking as on purpose, not in his direction as possible. You just see him kind of whistling to themselves and looking down, looking over their shoulder, looking at their fingernails. Just nobody is really paying him any mind. You see the one the one woman take out the whip. Remember this?
Yes.
If you don't give me my money right now, I'm going to treat you like that horse. For every whip you gave it, I'm giving you. And then she just gives a big crack. And then he just kind of jumps. Fine, a deal's a deal. Here's 40 gold. You miserable piss ants will never work for me again. You'll never work for anyone again. It just bust out laughing and just start walking away, counting their money. And with that, you have now parted ways with the caravan. Are free to do. You're no longer under contractual obligation. Are free to do
Oh,
whatever.
that made me so happy.
I was hoping he'd cry for help.
I was hoping they'd actually hit him, but that was good.
I wanted more money. I was hoping he'd cry out for help. Like, help! Like, you got money? I can help.
He surveyed the nonchalantness of the guards and decided not to test them.
I'm so happy. Okay, I guess I go to find everybody else.
Yeah, I guess I start heading towards the can't miss in. Clip clop, clip clop, clip clop.
Following you, I guess.
Whoa. Big dick. Yeah, so you guys just make your way forward a little bit, just kind of through the streets. It doesn't take too long, but these two major intersections, you come into like right around the corner where they meet, and by this point in time, the cult and their wagons have you've lost sight of them. They went down the way of the dragon, the other side of the street, and then when you meet back up that street, they're nowhere to be seen. But you do see exactly this big, huge inn right there at the corner of those streets that he was looking at, or that he had described. Okay. Alright, I'm going to take Fane in the other channel for a second as a whisper so that we can converse with what she sees, and then I'll be right back.
Okay. Whispers.
Alright, so, yeah, you managed to catch Onthar walking through the streets, and he's a pretty easy spot since he's not only a huge burly man in giant plate mail, but people just part ways, and he's also really loud, even over the crowd. He's talking to himself and talking to others as he's walking by in a pretty jolly manner. He's walking down the high road. So what would you like to say to him before the others get there?
But did we make it to the end without him seeing me?
Were you following, trying to follow him?
Yes, but of course I would have used stealth.
Yeah, go ahead and roll
Can you roll
stealth
that?
in the dice tower. No, he's gonna spot you as you're walking through the crowd behind him. And
All right, well, I just follow him then. Since he sees me, it's not a big deal. When we get to the end, I assume that we'll just sit down and probably just stare at each other for a while because I'm not sure what to say to him, except for that that I'm not working so well with the group, that they abandoned me, is what I'm going to tell him.
abandon you?
That's how Fane feels right now, and nobody stood up for her, so she's pretty put out. Yeah, they didn't stand up for me, and I did nothing wrong, and I just, yeah. This just isn't working out.
Well, I'm glad you're in one piece. There's a lot of information to be shared.
Perhaps. Rowan did a pretty good job of keeping up with information.
Well, I have my own stories to tell, and I'm afraid people aren't going to like them any more than whatever stories that you've been told thus far. So, let us wait for them to get here, and we'll talk about it all together. I'm sure it's simply a misunderstanding.
Yeah, I don't think so, but whatever. That's how I get paid. I'll have to wait for them. That's fine.
Very well.
And I sit there drumming my fingers on the table.
Okay. Yeah, so we're gonna go to a like a meeting room up on the second floor of the inn, and we'll just wait for them.
Is there a map for that or no?
No, there's no map for that.
Okay.
And we're back.
Oh.
Ba-dum.
Alright, so you guys arrive at what is just as depicted. The inn at the corner of the high road and the way of the dragon in the Virgin's Square. As you make your way inside, one of the serving ladies is going to come over to you and say, "Are you folk here for to the ones that he's looking for, the big guy?"
The big guy, yes.
He and the lady, they just went upstairs to the meeting room up on the second floor. If you just take these stairs over here and go up, it's at the end of the hallway. The hallway just ends into the big meeting room.
Lady.
the bubbly gnome?
No. No, it wasn't a gnome. A real pretty lady.
Okay, I suppose we'll meet her soon enough.
Mhm.
I start heading that direction.
Alright, yeah, so you head your way up the staircase, and then you can hear just some chit chat coming from Onthar as it doesn't sound like he's talking with anyone, but he's just talking aloud, sort of to himself, but not directed at himself. He's just talking to talk. But you can hear him down the hallway as you approach, and take a step inside this large meeting room that's got a huge oak table with like 12 big chairs around it. And see inside the meeting room, you see Onthar sitting at the end, and then just a couple of chairs down, you see Fane sitting there drumming her fingers.
Oh, Fane! I wasn't expecting that you'd find Onthar before we did, although I guess I shouldn't be surprised. I have something for you. Are you okay?
What do you have?
Your money. And I pull it out and give it to her.
She hands over 50 gold pieces.
From Lai.
Oh, good.
I kind of look at Fane and then look at Onthar and then look at Fane again.
I'm gonna go up to one of the chairs and not sit, but stand, because, chairs and stuff.
Since you've entered the
being
room,
short.
Onthar has been uncharacteristically quiet.
I cast Pass Without a Trace on us.
Okay. Let's kind of look around. Well, there's no telling where Stuffy Pants is. It wasn't here when I got back. But I got my own story to tell. I got your message.
You did. I was going to ask you about that. The light made it back then, okay.
Yeah. I sent Captain Roland and 10 of his company to investigate. They found the scene. They didn't even bother to move the body.
Oh, that must have been pretty gruesome.
The whole place was deserted. Roland took on himself. He followed the twins north. I take it they may have been after you. Not sure. He came upon them. They'd kind of set up a little bit of an ambush. About 50 or so of the bandits jumped him. The elves were there. They unleashed a torrent of magic devastation, killing most of his company. They killed the bandits to the man, but the brothers got away.
I glance over at Karth.
I am just intently listening to him, very much kind of stone face.
As Roland tells it, one of the brothers started reading from a scroll. Talked about how they just some kind of eerily talking in sync or something. And then as they were talking, this greenish beam shot out of the scroll. Roland's lieutenant, Jalen, jumped in the way. The beam struck his chest. And it didn't burn him, not the way Roland tells it. But in an instant, his armor, his being, every bit of him was nothing more than a dust of ash floating on the wind. He was gone.
I'm just stunned.
I don't know why they took it then to leave. Probably because Roland had burning vengeance in his eyes. As he charged at him, they each lifted their hand and created some kind of barrier, a ward of some sort, bearing all the holy vengeance of Torm. He cut through what would have been a strike that would have killed any man. Any man. It shattered the barriers and cut off one of them's hand. I said the weirdest way to hear him tell it. When one hand vanished, being severed from the body, the twin, the same thing happened, even though no blow landed on him. After they screamed in agony, they muttered some words and vanished. Roland fought off by himself the last of the bandits, 15, 20, and killed every one of them to the man. He came back and reported all of this incident. I couldn't believe such a thing. They weren't good. They delved in secrets, and we know that they were associated with some thievery, and we think they've taken out some officials, or at least had them taken out. But we never knew anything of this.
They're clearly dangerous.
Leosin hooked me up with a friend of his. We came to Baldur's Gate. I brought 5 captains and an entire legion of paladins behind me. Burn that city to the ground if it's infested with such dreadful beings. Luckily, hate was subsided through the blessing of Torm and wisdom. Leosin hooked me up with a friend of his, a diviner, he said. Said that there's some link between the twins and you.
Morn?
No, you as a group, like, you as a group.
I look at Morn.
I don't have any personal link to the twins.
They knew you.
They knew who I belonged to.
Who do you belong to?
That's my business. You'll find
Not
out
if
later.
it puts the rest of us in danger. It becomes my business right now.
It's only for the good you don't know.
I've seen the callousness with which you treat life, Morn. It's to your benefit that you've been on our side, or else I would have cut you down already.
Just following orders.
Whose orders?
Not for you to know. I obviously don't mean any harm to you. So,
I don't think I know that.
leave it as it is. Well, you're still alive, and I didn't let anything kill you.
Anthar just has his arms crossed and he's just listening intently.
You've been sullen and withdrawn the entire trip. The brothers seem to know you. Jamna said that the people who wanted to destroy the caravan we were guarding were people that you know. Now, if you don't tell me what is going on, then I can't work with you at the very least. How do I know that you're not going to kill us at some point?
Because I would have killed you already.
They're going to nuke the whole caravan.
I'm very confused at this point. I thought the chick that was in the caravan, was talking about someone trying to come to destroy the cultists, not our caravan.
She said that they were going to destroy the whole caravan. That's us.
And the cultists.
So you're just okay with this if friends of yours decide that you're just collateral damage? I'm not okay with that.
DX is gonna go behind Rowan and start nodding his head at every point that she makes, like really emphatically nodding.
Even got the
Yeah.
Well, I am currently working for the betterment of the realm.
That's not an answer. Who are they? Who are you working for?
Hold on.
Jerry.
I'll tell you later. When there's no one around. I wrote persuasion on her.
What do I do here? I don't trust him.
The counter to that is insight.
Yeah, insight. It's not exactly a straight roll off, especially with PCs, but it might influence your reaction some, on how you take what he's saying.
Can I use my inspiration?
Yes.
Damn it!
Yeah, so it is counts as advantage, so it would take the higher of the two.
Yeah.
It's a good thing it wasn't the other, though. I don't know, I guess. It depends.
Yeah. I think Morton is telling the truth. He would tell her later.
Yeah, yeah, go ahead and disclose, I mean, what, she's got a pretty decent read of you, like, you're trying to be convincing. She knows that. But the genuineness of what you're saying, you can disclose to her about that.
I'm so confused now.
Oh, I'm just saying, like, she's got a decent read on you, as far as,
Yeah.
like, you're being persuasive. And, that doesn't outright mean that she's just going to follow your every whim or, agree to it. So you can be persuasive and still not sway someone to your side or whatever. But
Yeah.
just so you can just describe to her how how you are, how genuine are you, how are you acting, how is this coming across to her. Do you truly believe what you're doing is for the benefit of the realm? That would be some, like, is that statement genuine that she's reading from you about?
Well, I'd hoped the insight she rolled would tell her that, but yes, it's genuine.
So, I know, that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm telling you to tell her, because you're still for NPCs, I will say what happens or whatever. But since it's still you as a person, I'm not going to tell you exactly what you said or exactly what she said or what she thinks you said.
Yeah.
She has a good read on you.
I got it.
You just tell her what she reads from that.
My company's mission is to save the realm from the rise of the dragon. And that is our goal now and has been forever. And that is all I can disclose at the moment. I will tell you the rest later.
Fine. But so help me, if you put my friends in danger, I will make you watch as I eat your fingers.
We're always in danger.
I'm thirsty. Scissor Saber's looking at his hands.
That was intense.
Well, this is good to know. You see him kind of looking at Morn. Perhaps there is a link.
I'll talk to you later, too.
But maybe there's more. In either case, it is evident that your fates are intertwined with that of the twins. That's why I'm here. Leosin was already headed here. I just brought my captains, and I hitched a ride. Here we are. We arrived just under a 10-day ago by ship. Roland is with me, and he has changed. You can see it in his eyes. Burning hate of vengeance. They're all out right now, trying to glean any information they can about the twins. That is in addition to all of this. Well, we're all here in the first place. So tell me, what do you know? Your part of the mission. How did it fare?
Tiamat. They plan to raise Tiamat.
Oh, Tormund heaven. They have the means?
Apparently, they're working with the Red Wizards.
With that, you can just see him, like, put a hand to his chest and, lean back, like, kind of jerk back in his chair. No.
A red wizard came to the caravan, and after that, they knew everything about us, everything.
And with that, like, you can see just a moment of shock as he's got his hand on his chest. And you see he clench his teeth. And he picks up his hand and he just slams it down on the desk. It couldn't have been any worse.
We did get a couple of place names out of them.
Well of Dragons.
A well of
And-
dragons. Well of dragons.
And Castle Neritar?
I don't know anything about a castle. Neriatar.
I'd not heard of them either. Jamna said that the Well of Dragons was rumored to be somewhere to the southeast.
I think there's 2 wills of dragons, depending on what the context is. Those I know about. I don't know where they are, but I at least know about them. But I don't know anything about this castle. So what's with the Will of Dragons? Do we know any context?
There's a lot of talk of fire, and I don't know if that's literal or metaphor, but I believe the well is where they're going to try to raise Tiamat.
Well, hopefully Leosin will get back. Maybe he knows about where the Well of Dragons is. Or which one they're talking about. Or this castle.
We believe there was some precious cargo. We got close, but then the Red Wizard came, and after that, they were very well guarded.
They did have some scroll boxes that I got a very good look at. If they're somewhere in the city, I may be able to locate them.
The paladins will draw too much attention. Maybe. I sure would like to hear from Leosin, though.
Did you say or know where he went?
No, that miserable monk. He's always off skulking about.
He had said that he was going to meet us here in the city once he was done his own business.
Yeah, he's here somewhere. He was here this morning. I don't.
Did he take his staff with him?
Yeah.
And he didn't say which direction he was going.
No, it just runs off and talks with this secretive bunch all the time. I never know what he's doing. He gets results, I guess, but he knows people, and that's useful. But he's never here when action needs to be taken.
I tell everybody, okay, we're gonna need to be quiet just for a couple minutes. And I drop the pass without a trace and cast locate object, concentrating on Leosin's staff.
Ooh, okay. Okay. Immediately after casting the spell, you get a tingling sense of something due west of you. Moving. Moving closer slowly.
He's coming this way. Somewhere to the west.
In fact, if you were to kind of look at the cardinal directions, it'd be west with a little bit of south, and you can almost point, like just the beacon in your brain is just like pointing, you kind of point off to the side. This way. It's west with a little bit of south.
I point that direction and then say, I will see if I can intercept him if you like.
Well, if he's coming here, he's just coming here, so I'll just wait for him.
Alright, you guys wait here. I'm gonna walk out, and when I get out to the street, I'm gonna turn into a cat and then kind of run in the direction of my radar.
What you see as you kind of look in that specific direction is you see Waterdeep Castle looming up, and it's pinging from almost directly straight in the middle of the castle. As it stands itself up on a cliff face that's kind of been built up over the edge of this mountain, right there on the edge of the actual water. So something hard to see is, almost all of Waterdeep is down in this valley, except for that triangle, almost triangle-shaped piece that Waterdeep Castle's right there on the corner of, which is all part of a mountain that goes up higher and higher and higher to a peak. Sitting on the cliffs, looking down over, easily 30 feet above the street level at the lowest brick of the castle.
Okay. I have 40-foot movement and climb 30-foot movement as a cat, so I want to try and take the shortest route there.
Let's see, locate object lasts for 10 minutes. So probably the fastest route will be mostly by rooftop. Or do you want to take or do you want to take the road route?
Rooftop would be fine, I think. That's the shortest way.
Yeah, so you kind of scramble up on some boxes and climb up the edge of a roof nearby, just across the square. This entire block. Everything's kind of packed together and kind of bound from building top to building top. It's going to take you just a couple of minutes to cross the whole square. And at that time, what seemed to have been moving slowly is now kind of crossed from one side of the castle to the other, and is now a little bit favoring. As you're looking at the castle, it's on the far left side towards where one of the gate with the ramps that come down into the city, and you're made it to Snail Street essentially, just south of the Virgin Square, or sorry, west. Stupid rotated map.
Yeah, it's confusing.
And then you can make the sense in a crowd coming closer now in the area, winding down the ramp coming from the castle.
Can I see him, or is it still just my radar?
It's just your radar, yeah. It's way up there, but it's also way... I mean, the ramp itself is elevated above the rooftop, so you can kind of see the ramp, but it's just a big crowd of people, and it's way over there. It's several blocks over.
Can I keep going until I can hopefully see him?
Somewhere around there. As you kind of bound across on the left side, right where it says like 196. You can see him on the other side of the street coming this way, and you kind of bound towards him, and you'd meet about halfway down that street there.
Meowson.
Meowson. He pays you no mind. He's pretty convicted in his pacing.
Alright, I just shadow him as he's coming back up to the inn, I guess.
Okay. Yeah, he's making headway directly back to the inn. I'm gonna follow him back to the inn. I'm gonna make a presence known.
Yep.
Yep on the presence known, or yep on the just following back to the...
Both.
And how are you going to do that?
I just kind of come up and walk along beside him. If he stops at any point, I bump my head up against him like I did with Karth. And then just kind of walk along beside him.
Now you said regular cat, not like panther, right?
No, like an alley cat.
Okay, yeah. Okay, because I just making because that may have changed what I had
Yeah.
pictured of what the crowd and everything was.
No, we're in a city. I thought it would be better to go with, the domestic
Okay.
version.
Meow. What the? Yeah, he's really not paying you any attention at all.
That's okay.
He actually rolled a 1. Oh, there's that. Yeah, so he just makes it back to the inn as he kind of, as he gets closer, he starts to pick up his pace. Kind of almost do a pretty good jog right. Right as he gets to the actual inn itself and kind of busts in and takes several looks around immediately, looking at the bartender, who just kind of motions with his thumb, motions up, and then he just scurries off up the stairs. Are you staying in cat?
I'm gonna try to get in as a cat. Hope the bartender doesn't see me.
Go ahead and roll stealth. Meow.
Meow.
Yep. You kind of stalk from like chair to chair, table leg to table leg, not really paying any attention as you make it up the stairs. And you see Leosin just duck into the room as soon as you make it to the top of the stairs.
Can I run in the room after him and then jump up on the table?
Mm-hmm.
Meow.
Let's see, Anthar just kind of just immediately just stand up. Like super fast. And then just looks right at the cat. Is this a good omen or a bad one?
Either Leosin has catnip, or that's our friend Rowan.
Friend.
Meow.
Or one of the twin spies.
Nope. I jump down off the table and then bump my head against Onthar's leg and then take a few steps away and then drop my wild shape.
You see him kind of raise a gauntleted hand like in a fist. And then as you start to come up, then he just kind of leans back a little bit and he pushes the fist back like he's just going to straight sucker punch whatever it is. And then it's you, and then he just kind of relaxes. I don't know if that's a good idea given the circumstances.
What, you don't like cats?
I don't like sentient things disguised as cats. In a meeting, as he just sweeps his hand.
I found Leosin.
A meeting where the fate of the world is at stake? And Leosin just kind of chuckles a little. You'll have to forgive him. His mood has been rather foul this last couple of weeks.
Understandably, we heard what happened.
Tragedy, to be sure. But even in the bad can come good. It has steeled the resolve of many to our cause.
That's good news.
Speaking of good news, do you have any?
I tell him what we learned, the same stuff that we told Antar.
Castle such and such in Dragonwell.
The Well of
Red
Dragons.
Wizards.
Red Wizards. Oh, well, seems we're not the only ones who steal the resolve of allies. Dangerous allies at that. Castle Neriatar. Why does that sound familiar? Why does that sound familiar?
I wouldn't know. It's not ringing any bells for me. Mind you, I haven't been a lot of places.
I think that's...
Payne, are you alright?
the old Wizards Observatorium Castle. Who was that before? Where is that? I don't think I've seen that anywhere except an old dusty book.
I was gonna say, is there somewhere we could look up something like that? A library in Waterdeep or something?
Yes, I think I know just the place. Or at least the person who can then get me to the place. Yes, I think I do indeed. That's a very good lead, I think. So do we know what this castle is all about? What its importance is?
I only managed to hear the name, unfortunately.
The Well of Dragons. You mean... there's a place far in the southeast, in the mountains, they call the Well of Dragons.
Gemna had mentioned that.
Jamna? Who's Jamna?
A gnome lady who joined us at Daggerford, if I remember correctly. She seemed to be working with another group, and I kind of glare at Morn.
Another group?
Morn shrugs.
And she sought you out?
She may have prevented us all from getting killed.
May?
And may also have been the one to kill us, so.
Oh, that's true. There was some kind of
No, Jamna.
poison found in our breakfast.
Poison?
She did help us.
What kind of poison?
There was some little magic bone things. Black. It looked like a seed. It was Gleam Silver. Her last name was Jamna Gleam Silver.
You can see his eyes kind of go wide. Gleam silver, Jamna Gleam silver, bone sliver. Bone slivers? Was it the little
Yeah.
bone curls that look like a bead?
Yeah, those are it.
Oh dear.
Do you know her?
I don't know her, but I know of her. I think I know who she's working for. Another task to add to my list.
That would be great if somebody could shed some light on who these people are. Morn.
People?
Apparently, she convinced this group of people to not destroy the entire caravan. And instead let her gather information.
That does sound like them.
She said that Morn knew them. But Morn won't tell me shit.
I told you I'd tell you later.
When's later?
More.
We're all here
beer?
now. We're all here now.
It's okay, it's okay. Morn, dear. Tell me. Do you carry the coin?
Yes.
No more need said. Although that does solidify a few suspicions I had. Very well. All is well, don't worry, don't worry.
Nobody's telling me anything.
Can I use my thieves' cant to see if I understand what he meant by that? Because it kind of sounds like a riddle or something.
It's not a riddle.
Yeah, it's not a riddle. It's not something that you're directly familiar with, though. It is not.
And this would be absolutely nothing wrong to ever know about. So,
Except everyone who's ever met you on the road. Mercenaries. We're all mercenaries at this table, are we not, at the moment?
well, when I talk about out of character, whenever I say who I'm working for, I'm sure Karth will know who I'm talking about. I'm sure Fane will know what I'm talking about. TX might know. I'm sure Ron will have no idea.
No clue.
Yeah, that's
Back into character.
if it's given in that kind of context, I believe that that may be true. I mean, I think the probability is good that that is true. Um. Hmm. Anthar, I think that perhaps you might be the man to help remove some of their road weariness for the time being while I seek out some of this information. I think I know right where we might get some more of this information. And in fact, these... Oh, yes! Super important!
Hmm?
Anthar, you definitely need to contact your captains and have them return. I think I know where the elves are. And with this, Anthar, he's just all tense. He's just been really quiet, listening to everything go on. Lawlessness, treachery, subterfuge.
And handsome halflings.
This is not the Paladin way. This scourge is a blight A blight that must be purged. Where are these elves? Leo's in like at the very direct and aggressive sound, like nature of what Anthar is saying. It's still very uncharacteristic of him, despite being a paladin. Um. Yes. Well, you see, I think that there is some people, we'll just say people, that are linked to the elves. And I think that they are actually here in Waterdeep.
Coin people?
Yes, coin people, so to speak. Well, anyway, I think there's a little area kind of in the, lo and behold, the more dark corners of the city hold secrets. And I think that the elves are involved in these secrets. Apparently, they've been acting out in the open, rather, in Baldur's Gate for a long time. Right where anyone should be able to perceive. But anyway, there's a spot in the northeast part of the city, somewhere near Imar and Horn Street. There seems to be a lot of nefarious activity. The guards, while maintaining due vigilance at the gates, are still not seeking danger at its source. The trolls have just simply stopped going to that area of the city. I have a feeling that has to do with coin, both the people and the object. Somewhere in that area, there's definitely something. Maybe you should investigate while I find information about this castle. Maybe chop the head off of one dragon before fighting them all at once.
Do you think that may be where they took the cultist caravan? Their wagons? They took a different route than the rest of the wagons.
Could be. If they're taking them somewhere at all here, maybe if they're in with the right people, they could just be trying to get away from you and us and him. He points over to Anthar. As it turns out, he's a picture of, well, let's just say he has a presence, and that presence is well known. And easily observable, I might add. Someone who was supposed to stay in the inn. You see, Hunter's just got a harumph.
Well, it made it easy for us to meet up with you, at least.
But at what cost? The great game is played here by the Lords of Waterdeep. A dangerous game at that.
I have no patience for games.
I like games.
You might be very skilled at the game. It's a game that can get you dead, though. Or worse.
Quite quickly.
Worse than dead? Ooh.
There are things worse than death in this world.
Yes.
Death while an anonymous death. Ooh. Famous death is the way to go.
To die alone and unknown, tortured and shriveled. Well, what say you all? We just kind of surveying the room a little.
So our role will be to go to this Horn Street and root out whatever is festering there.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the idea?
Somewhere around those streets, there's a kind of a whole block relevant to those. And what would be the northeast corner of town.
Yeah, there it is. Okay.
Yeah, wherever the giant TX is.
You think that, gonna walk over and put a hand on Fane's shoulder? Do you think we can put aside differences, work together for the betterment of all?
That's a good question.
That is a good question. If it comes down to choosing between us and your coin people, what happens, Morn? You wouldn't fight with us when we met the elves the first time.
If they really are corn people, I don't think they want to kill us.
I think they've already killed friends of ours.
Us and the real corn people have a common cause. We wouldn't be trying to kill each other.
They have already killed friends of ours. If these elves and your people are allied, how can we trust you?
How much gold is my life worth?
You
More.
don't understand the corn people.
That's a good question, actually, TX.
I don't know. I haven't been given that contract ever.
I'm out.
A life to you
Did you want
seems
to be
worth
Did you want it to be expensive, TX?
a life to you seems to be worth 2 silver. How do you think that felt when that's the last thing that Captain Ron heard? If you care for no life but your own, Morn, you will find it a short and empty one.
There you go, presuming things you don't know.
Because you won't tell me!
I can't tell you.
And that much is very likely true, to be fair. But here's what I know. These coin people, this is using the air quotations pretty heavily, are not so tightly organized as, say, other groups that have sometimes similar, sometimes disparate purposes. And it often seems to be that without some organization, that some within the group often do things for themselves more than they do for the group. I guess is a way of saying that. And sometimes, when those that do things for themselves go too far, they get cold like the rest.
Rowan just takes a deep breath.
I don't know. I don't dare speak on Morn's true intentions. But I think that his history, his track record, while not stellar, is at least one of a common purpose.
I'm no angel. But if the real coin people wanted you dead, the caravan would have been destroyed.
Oops, that was what being to say.
I told you I'd answer your questions, but not now.
I will be watching you very carefully. You've seen what I can do.
The bears.
Dub bears.
Bears. Mama bear is angry.
Well, let me put it in another way. If we don't work together to at least end this immediate problem, if they want it to happen, given what Captain Roland has said about what they can do, about what you yourself have seen that they can do, it's very evident that they want something to do with you. You as a group, all of you. And no matter how you feel on the matter, if you do not hold steadfast, well, you can only surmise what may happen. So whether you like each other, whether you trust each other, as long as you value your own life, or even the life of one another, even some of the others, this is one task you might want to accomplish. And then maybe some of these issues can be resolved. There are things far more important in the world that need taken care of than petty bickering and hurt feelings.
Fine.
And if you'll excuse me, I have important things to accomplish. As if I do not accomplish them, then we all perish. It just kind of, you see that at the end he's starting to get a little, while even in dire situations has been somewhat positive. Was a little stern in the way he was speaking at the end, as he just kind of walks out of the room. Onthar's just gonna shake his head and stand up. I'll gather the paladins. You find what you can find. If there's a fight to be had, you let us know. As he just walks out.